Hello everybody, my name is Josh. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we discuss books both new and old. I will share with you pictures of my cats, will make you wish they were your cats, and I will drink enough coffee for me and everybody watching. I will start out by saying, Happy Pride Month. That is an excellent cappuccino. I'm here with a June TBR. We are already about a week and a half into June, so I'm starting a little late. I have still, though, picked out 10 books here that I plan to get to this month. Now, typically, yes, I would forego a TBR and just come in here, grab whatever I felt like reading. This month, however, I want to have a dedicated TBR, and next month I will have a dedicated TBR. This month, because this is the perfect time to go through and read a bunch of LGBTQ plus books. So obviously I do that throughout the year anyway, but this month in particular is just an awesome opportunity to get a bunch of those books together. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, it seems as though it gets easier and easier every year for me to just go to my shelves, pull books off, and realize, oh hey, this book has some sort of representation for the LGBTQ plus community. So that's really exciting. I love the fact that it is getting easier every year to do that, and that representation all around is getting better. Even as other people are trying to fight it, they're going to fail, they're going to lose. I will show you briefly here something that my sibling Shy got for the Cattins. So they picked up this awesome cat tunnel, and Havoc has been absolutely obsessed. There's Havoc now. Hey, buddy. We were showing him your tunnel. You want to show him your cool tunnel? Boy. Yeah. That's your favorite tunnel now, isn't it? Because it's all crinkly. I also just recently added something to the front of the house. So this is a really cool flag that we found actually off of Amazon, and I love it. I think it's awesome. I've had several compliments on it and several comments. Alright, so a little showing off of the new additions to the house, and now let's go on and get into the books. So as usual, I tried to get a nice sampling of things here. Obviously, this does not cover all aspects of the Pride community, but I've done my best to get a little representation from as many as I could in these 10 books. So the first is one that I've already started, and in fact, if it takes me any more than a day to get this uploaded, I will probably be finished. But this is Wicked Little Things by Justin Arnold. The back reads, join a coven, catch a killer, get a makeover. So basically this is about a teenager named Dane. Dane comes out to his cousin as gay, and although they have an excellent relationship, his cousin lets it slip to other people, and it causes all sorts of trouble for Dane. So in a bid to make it up to him, his cousin puts on a dress, announces to a bunch of school bullies that he is in support of Dane, and then gets chased into the woods by them, where he is then killed by this killer in a bunny mask. On top of all this, Dane is finding that he has strange powers, and some local girls have basically come to him and said, hey, you're a witch and we want you in our coven. So all this going on, there's a lot going on. There's some good humor here, really enjoyable stuff. Dane has a raccoon as his familiar, and one of my favorite parts, there is a bit of a budding romance between him and a gentleman that runs a local coffee shop. So, of course, there's coffee involved. You know, you already have me sold. This one, at first, reads a little bit YA, but there are definitely things in there that make it feel a little more adult. But I think it's still meant for a teenage group. But so we have some gay representation in this one, a little horror, and this is from a newer brand called Tiny Ghost Press right there. I should say that the rest of these books are in no particular order. I don't know what I'm going to pick up after Wicked Little Things. I just know that these will be the books that I get to. So the next one has representation both for gay characters as well as asexual characters, which is a little bit harder to find still. So this is TJ Klune with In the Lives of Puppets, with this incredible cover here. And this is one that I've been really excited to read. This is a Pinocchio retelling, but with kind of robots as well as puppets. The main character is asexual, and well, I'm just going to read the back to you. So this reads, deep in the heart of a peculiar forest, in a strange little home built into the branches of trees, is a family assembled from spare parts. 3 robots, fatherly inventor android Giovanni, a pleasantly sadistic nurse machine, a small vacuum desperate for love and attention, and a human, Victor Lawson. The day Vic salvages and repairs an unfamiliar android labeled Hap, he learns of a shared dark past between Hap and Geo, a past spent hunting humans. When Hap unwittingly alerts robots from Geo's former life to their whereabouts, Geo is captured and taken back to his old laboratory in the city of Electric Dreams. So together, the rest of Vic's assembled family must journey across an unforgiving and otherworldly country to rescue Geo from decommissioning, or worse, reprogramming. Along the way to save Geo, amid conflicted feelings of betrayal and affection for Hap, Vic must decide for himself. Can he accept love with strings attached? So, really excited about this one. I've heard excellent things. It's got the really nice sprayed edges there as well. Pinocchio retelling with representation for gay and asexual characters. It's going to be awesome. TJ Klune wrote the werewolf series that starts with Wolf Song. I did read that first one, really loved it. I have, I think, books 2 and 3 over there as well, and just haven't got back into the series because I've been so caught up on the others. So this will actually only be my second TJ Klune book, but I'm very, very much looking forward to it because this is the book that I originally wanted to read from this author. Next up is kind of a special one. This is Don't Ask, Ghosts Tell, which is an LGBTQ plus horror anthology. Now this one is special in a way because this is all from authors who are part of the community but who have also served in the military. Most of you will know that there's been a lot of negativity in the United States military regarding the Pride community, and essentially a lot of them have been asked to just step aside and to give up whatever rank and time they have served. So as Miss Lisa Morton on the back here says, the horror of serving those who deny you the most basic freedom to be who you are is the beating heart of this splendid anthology. By turns poetic, poignant, and genuinely unnerving, Don't Ask, Ghosts Tell will haunt you. So I thought this one was really cool. The proceeds from it also go towards those affected by these new rules put in place in the United States military. So I really appreciated that. I'm excited for this one. It has awesome illustrations throughout, and I felt like this would be a good one to be more inclusive and to help a subset of people within the community as well. All right, next up, to get a little YA in there as well, this is a newer release. This is Allison Ames with The Devourer, which has an awesome cover here. I'll show it off to you. Back says, something hungry and spiteful lives inside her, sleeping, and it's just lifted its head. Revenge. So this is actually about a female pirate captain, and she is tracking down her brother after his ship and crew disappear. There is this thing called the Devourer. She knows it's coming. She knows she is going to somehow have to stop this thing, but she doesn't really know what it is. This one has a sapphic romance involved, and a little bit of girl power, I guess, because you get this female pirate captain. So this one, again, the cover of course sold me immediately, but I just thought it would be a lot of fun. You get some fantasy pirate sapphic romance. I mean, what more do you need, right? Adding to the sapphic experience, I guess, we have, of course, we had to have at least one book in here from Space Wizard. Actually, I did already read a Space Wizard book this month, but I tossed another one in here. This is one of their anthologies titled Lofty Mountains, 11 Stories of Cloudy Peaks, Airship Adventure, and Sapphic Experiences. So the back reads, look to the skies. Brave adventurers face new relationships and adversity in all sizes, from steampunk dirigibles to harpies, giant beetles to garden gnomes, and winged dinosaurs to sky pirates. Pirates again. Isolated mountain peaks, clifftop cities, and battles in the sky abound in this sapphic anthology focused on overcoming challenges waiting in the clouds. So, again, you get sapphic stories. This one in particular made me think of this month because these stories are all about them in the clouds, rising above the rest of the crap that they have to deal with down below, essentially, is the way that it worked in my head anyway. So another one that I'm very much looking forward to. Space Wizard is just doing fantastic things, and again, if you're not reading their books yet, you should be. They have some great stuff. I've had some not so great reads from them as well, but mostly I just love supporting their whole message and what they are doing and the authors that are part of it. Lofty Mountains will be on the list, as will Rebecca Thorne with Can't Spell Treason Without T. This describes itself as a cozy fantasy steeped with love. Now, this is about two women that all they want to do is open a bookshop that serves tea. But one is part of the Queen's private guards, and the other happens to be the most powerful mage in existence. I have heard from reviews that it is not the greatest book. I have also been warned that despite the fact that it calls itself a cozy fantasy, it's not cozy in any way. The stakes are very high, so if you're looking for something that is more low stakes, then this one might not be for you. But it's just one that Paige and I actually picked up together. We were both interested in reading it. There is a book 2 out, so I figure I'll read it. Either it'll be great and we'll pick up book 2, or I'll read it and maybe save Paige some time as well. But in the meantime, we are once more getting some sapphic representation here. and another fantasy. I wanted to make sure that I was incorporating not just stories involving the LGBTQ plus community, but authors as well, and books that don't necessarily have anything to do with it. The representation comes from the authors. So one that is very well known, very easily the most well-known author within this TBR, in fact, is Truman Capote with In Cold Blood. This is the book that he is most well known for. If you do not know the story, it is as follows. On November 15th, 1959, in the small town of Holcomb, Kansas, 4 members of the Clutter family were savagely murdered by blasts from a shotgun held a few inches from their face. There was no apparent motive for the crime, and there was almost no clues. As Truman constructs the murder and investigation that led to the capture, trial, and execution of the killers, he generates both mesmerizing suspense and astonishing empathy. In Cold Blood is a work that transcends its moment, yielding poignant insights into the nature of American violence. So, not such a nice book, of course. This is about true crime, but I thought that this was a great time to pick it up because Truman was one of the few authors from that time period that was very open about his sexuality and really didn't care what other people thought at all. He had no time to deal with their silliness. This is a difficult book, but an excellent one if you've not read it. And so this will be a reread for me, actually, but again, just wanted to get some representation in there for authors as well as stories. In addition to the asexuality that is difficult to come by, but that we have found here in the T.J. Klune book, another thing that is still somewhat difficult to find representation for in books is trans and non-binary characters. But this one takes care of that if that's what you're looking for, because this is actually a 3-book series, and if you're into science fiction, then this might be a great one for you. This is another Space Wizard book. This is William C. Tracy with Of Mycelium and Men, the Biomass Conflux Book 1. So, it reads as follows. Agatha and her husband have spent their whole lives in Fleet's 0G. Now all is turmoil as the fleet lands, discovering they're surrounded by a single fungal biomass spanning the entire planet. To build a new home, the fleet must confront a dangerous organism, and Agatha must decide if she can raise a family in this inhospitable landscape. Jane Brighton holds tenuous command over the colony and its admins. She and the other gene-modded leaders emerged from their 400 years suspended animation to find a crew much different from the one that departed old Earth. Jane must direct the colony's fragile growth and defend it against being overrun by the fast-growing biomass. But there is something none of the colonists know. The massive organism that spans the planet is not simply a fungal mass, nor even a chimerical combination of species that once roamed the planet. The biomass has desires and goals, and one is to know these strange beings carving out a home in its midst. In this future, when children are born, all children are born non-binary, and they are able, as they grow and develop, to decide whether they are male, female, both, neither, whatever you may wish as an individual. So that is really something that is very difficult still to find. Maybe less so in other genres, but in the genres I read, science fiction, horror, fantasy, much less representation there. So this is one that I'm really excited for. I also love the idea of them landing on this planet and realizing that the entire planet is taken up by one giant living organism. That's insane to me. Sounds really exciting, so I'm very much looking forward to this as well. 2 more to go here. We have one more anthology. This is Sword Stone Table, Old Legends, New Voices. From the vast lore surrounding King Arthur, Camelot, and the Knights of the Round Table comes an anthology of gender-bent, race-bent, LGBTQ plus inclusive retellings. So, here you'll find the Lady of the Lake reimagined as an albino Ugandan sorceress, and the Lady of Shalom as a wealthy, isolated woman in futuristic Mexico City. You'll see Excalibur rediscovered as a baseball bat that grants a washed-up minor leaguer a fresh sonic glory, and a lost ceremonial drum that returns to a young First Nations boy the power and dignity of his people. These are stories set in the Gilded Age Midwest, 80s New York, 21st century Singapore, and space. There are lesbian lady knights, Arthur and Merlin reborn in the modern era for a second chance at saving the world and falling in love. Even a coffee shop is involved. Brave, bold, and groundbreaking, the stories in Sword Stone Table bring fresh life to beloved myths and give longtime fans a chance to finally see themselves in their favorite legends. Now, this one is really awesome because I could have read it for this month, for Pride Month. I also could have read it next month when we get into BIPOC Mental Health Month. But I picked it for this month. This is one that I picked up from Barnes & Noble. I was really interested in it when I saw it and read about it, and I immediately decided I had to pick it up because at my Barnes & Noble, someone had intentionally torn the cover so that no one would buy it. So I said, screw you, I'm buying it anyway because you're not going to stop people from reading stories like this. So I'm really excited for this one. I was recently gifted a box with a ridiculous number of Camelot and Arthurian books. I haven't really gotten into any of them yet, but I was kind of excited about this because I thought it might get me in the mood for that, and I could start getting through some of those series as well. So this one is just really cool because, I mean, talk about inclusive. This just it hits all the points for everything. So really looking forward to that one here later in the month. And then the final one that I have is another one that does not necessarily have characters involved in the Pride community, but has an author that is very well beloved by me, by Troy Tradup, who you all know and love. And this author is a man that is also, he was very well looked up to by Stephen King. Stephen King called him one of the greatest and most influential writers of the 1900s, in fact. And that is Mr. Michael McDowell. The book we're talking about today is Cold Moon Over Babylon. Now, my copy, this amazing copy here, actually came from Mr. Troy Tradup, and is about as deluxe and incredible as you can get. So the book itself is very well beloved, considered by a lot of people as one of the best horror books of all time, in fact. But the author is the important part here because Mr. Michael McDowell, in addition to the incredible books that he wrote, such as Blackwater, which I have back here, he was an author, an activist, an actor, and in a 30-year-long relationship with his partner, which again was just something that there just wasn't a lot of back then, or it certainly wasn't public knowledge. He did pass away from HIV/AIDS related illness, and he left an indelible mark, though, in literature as a whole. So Cold Moon Over Babylon, somehow I have not read over the years. What a great time to fix that problem, right? So there in these books, I tried to get as much inclusion as I could. I know that I missed so many marks, but there's only so much June to go around. So I'm trying to read what I can. I read books like this again all through the year. I read books with representation for the Pride community, but this is just such a great time to get out there, read as many as you can, talk about it as much as you can, and to get people thinking. So I'm so excited about these books. I think it is an awesome mix here. I would love to hear in the comments what you folks are reading for LGBTQ plus community this month, next month, every month. Suggest me some books involving characters, involving authors, involving concepts that I maybe didn't even cover here. So that's it. I'm going to go on and wrap this one up. It's a fairly long video for being just a TBR, but it's an important one. So as always, thank you all for joining me. I know that I'm not the greatest at sticking to a schedule or keeping up with my uploads on here, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Just stick with me. I promise there's some great stuff coming, and I just want to thank you all again. So have a wonderful week, weekend. Most importantly, drink great coffee. Cheers.